radiate, and we get the Hecarim you talked about. So Lyric already a very different direction, a very dive-heavy direction.
Yeah, and we've actually started to see the Kaisa come out, even into the Jinx in certain instances, really rising in prominence. We've seen the AP build come online heavily globally. Even here the other day, I remember a game where Kaisa just kind of built like a normal AD carry. She went straight towards the Kraken Slayer, then just picking up the rest of her crit items to be able to deal, you know, a ton of DPS with those autos. So, gonna be interesting to see where iBoy goes with this one. JDG, though, keep funneling home on power picks. They pick up the Tahm Kench show. If iBoy ever does find a window where he maybe thinks he can jump onto Hope, Missing will be right there next to him to be able to stop that one from coming through. And now JDG, a little bit surprised we don't see a jungle pick coming out from their side. Obviously, Yagao, Lee Sin being down, so things like the Zhao come to mind. Being able to look for the early invades. Volibear still being left open is another big one.
But we know that Kanavi on this team is tied for the most unique, so I guess it won't be a problem considering that he's played 10 individual junglers. The same champion pool as 369, the same as Yagao as well. So I guess at the very least, we know that Kanavi's just going to go down the tier list while we get our supports locked in. We get everything else pretty standard. And I'm just curious if RA want to keep challenging Kanavi or go and take away some of those solo lanes.
I kind of think you do. I think maybe you do just pull out the Zhao and the Volibear bans and then see where he goes. Like, I guess we'll still have things like Jarvan are there. Kanavi's one of the junglers who've still played the Graves, the Rek'Sai, something you hit on, the Trundle. So pinching that pool more. And for the side of JDG, you could try and limit Strive here in the mid lane. Orianna, I think, is a big one that stands out to me that's still open, that obviously combos very well with the 3 picks that they've put together.
Do you think it's worth mentioning that Kaisa is technically a flex pick, even though JDG are picking Orianna? Like, it's not normal. If Faker plays it, does that mean I have to say it's flex?
Oh, that does not.
Okay, good.
I mean, if Strive does pull that one out, that will be pretty cool to see. And now for JDG investing, I don't know if you need to invest another ban towards mid, maybe taking something away from Cube that would make him comfortable. There aren't any picks that really jump out to me, maybe the Gnar, because their comp is very indexed into wanting to play all in, so I don't really expect the Jace to come out for the side of her Adam.
I mean, Lyric, I know a champion that likes to run people down that both these top laners love to play. Sion was played last game. We get a Jace ban. Now, what does your big brain tell me that indicates?
It tells me that they don't want 369 to get absolutely wrecked in the 1v1. Jace, even though I don't think he fits thematically in terms of their first 3 picks, still does extremely well into Jinx and Tahm Kench. You range Jinx and then Tahm Kench doesn't fare the best up against, you know, consistent poke being able to come out. But now for RA, they're looking at mid laners. LeBlanc would go thematically with what they have. Tahm Kench does kind of shut it down a little bit in terms of the goals it wants to bring out, but gonna be a fun matchup in the mid lane. A lot of 2v2 action that could come through. JDG, the Zhao was a pick I hit on earlier. I was a little bit surprised to see RA ban out the Trundle instead, but it would at least give them that power in terms of that 2v2 to be able to come through. With Hecarim on the opposite side, typically we've seen teams look to punish by just heavily invading the Hecarim early on and setting him behind so he can't find any agency on the map.
Hey, we get 369's Kennen, though. This makes sense. He's most played. Really the only person playing Kennen at the moment, Lyric. Like, no other top laner is looking seriously at this champion.
Kennen was a pick we saw come out from, you know, some teams when we had, like, Gwen, you know, being played every game, and he was one of the pseudo answers to the pick. But you're right. The fact that 369 has 11 games on Kennen and his second most played is at 5 picks is pretty crazy in this meta. There's the Zhao lock-in coming out from JDG, so very strong team fight setup coming out from them. They have the early mid jungle to look for some action in terms of that 2v2, roam around the map and help out your soul laners. This would be a fun one.
Yeah, it would. And doesn't it, again, to use your word, go thematically with what they want to do? If it's not Aurelia, I'm still going to get hyped up for a Sion. Lyric, again, this champion runs in like an absolute train. So we're all hands on deck. All of RA are going to act like submarines.
And I always love when teams fully commit to whatever theme their draft is. So, you know, whether it's poke or all in or 1-3-1. And RA definitely doing that with this composition. Every champion having the ability to try and find the backline. Cube going to be able to soak up all the damage. For JDG, this one could be a little bit tougher. They have some range to play with the Jinx, but I mean, missing. You only have one Devour. You're going to eat him once.
Yeah.
What happens when Cube runs in and then maybe you have to use that Devour, and then suddenly Leyan can come in with the ultimate, maybe a Dredge Light from Nautilus. JDG just have so many different angles they have to worry about with this rare item composition.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and that's why it'll be a lot of fun to watch RA, because, again, if RA committing to the draft, like, we know that RA is a team that has been kind of on the same page. I will say that with a lot of new working pieces like Yuyanjia joining in, we have Strive joining into the mid lane. Like, RA have been a team that have been pieced together in certain roles that were really important for them in the past. Hung, Fofo, core carries of previous RA. And this team has done so well, better than any expectations. But here against JDG, it's a really hard ask, but one that looks like it's got a lot more potential in Game 2, Lyric. I think a much more exciting draft. When we looked at Game 1 and how it had to operate, it was very pigeonholed.
I think it's just exciting in a different way, right? Because Game 1 was exciting in terms of seeing how two teams have different styles of compositions and like who executes on their goals better, compared to this one where you expect both teams just want to run head first into the other one and gonna get a ton of action for this. So RA putting all of their eggs in the full dive basket to be able to secure their playoff berth.
Let's see if they can do it. RA, it's such an important match. If you haven't heard me tell you that, you're just tuning in, because RA are one series win away from locking in playoffs. In a split that, honestly, not many people had them pegged there. I had them 10th, but I feel like they're a much better team than 10th would ever indicate. The chance to lock in something like 8th, 9th is definitely there. And as we enter you into Summoner's Rift, a bit of a highlight here on the other side. JDG already secured playoffs. They are looking towards the top 4, and a win here would elevate them to an almost certain potential. They could be up in that upper echelon. Now, Lyric, as we have jumped onto the Rift, again, 369, someone to focus on. His 12th game of Kennen. He has played now 7 more games. No, sorry, 8 more games than the other people in the LPL, like Alia, ZDZ, Ala, who only have 4 games on this champion. 369 is obsessed.
Yeah, 369 loving this pick, knowing exactly how to maneuver with it. Is JDG on the opposite side of the map, actually forcing their way into the enemy jungle. They will be able to steal buff, so Kanavi, once again, finding a bit of a lead over Leyan on the opposite side, who did start his Raptors with the help of Cube, so doing it a little bit faster means he can look to go into Kanavi's jungle himself.
But a good little ward spotting him out. So for JDG, it looks like we are just going to be vertical jungling for the time being. There's a defensive ward in the Raptor camp that'll spot him crossing over, and that's from RA. So both junglers now on full vision. Everyone knows what's going on. It looks like it's just going to be a battle here on their vertical side. Lyric, do you keep vertical side? Do you gank? Or do you just look to take back over and find your own jungle again?
Well, we can already see that Kanavi is just going to commit to trying to save some of his camps, with Leyan still being on that side. Is 2v2. Yuyanjia having to flash.
Yeah, that's a big flash coming through. Exhaust and heal. Burn from JDG's bottom lane as they hit level 2 first.
Yeah, so JDG's bot lane finding an advantage so far. And that's one thing to expect in terms of this draft that has flipped from last game. Is JDG definitely coming out with some stronger laning phases than last time around. Jinx very easy to be able to get that push. Tahm Kench also extremely strong in the 2v2.
Hope second to W here. Good shot from iBoy, getting the trade back. Yuyanjia wants to draw, missing under turret. And it's not as cut and dry as maybe that flash before would have indicated.
We're just dirty liars, man. We came in, we're like, bot lane, we don't expect to see too much action in terms of the 2v2 coming out today. It'll be a lot about the top lane, but no, it has seriously just been all about this 2v2 and bot side both games so far.
It's been a story of how they've been developing over the split, getting better as Strive has distorted in and Kanavi has rampaged forward. We're looking for the counter from Leyan as a double turret shot. The horse runs over. The disengage with the audacious charge. Leyan has used everything as Yagao gets the charm. Leyan pulled towards turret, but not under it. JDG both survive, but RA with the counter play and now in the bottom lane. iBoy and Yuyanjia trying to bring hope and missing to their deathbed. We get so much action, but no blood yet.
No, and I gotta say, especially in terms of that mid lane play, it started off so well from Kanavi, but overcommitting just a little bit, hoping he can find that kill on the Strive, set up for Leyan to be able to come in and save the play. Nothing really in terms of map state changes off of the action we just saw. It does force JDG back, so maybe iBoy and Yuyanjia will be able to get this wave in and, you know, deny a little bit from the opposing side. but still nice to see both teams kind of realizing where they're strong, at least in terms of JDG, right?
Yep.
Committing to that mid-jungle when they have the Ahri and Zhao, definitely better in the early 2v2 than the Hecarim LeBlanc on the opposite side. So JDG realizing their game plan, RA finding a fortunate opening in that bottom side to find their advantage.
And I guess, you pointed out nothing in the map state changes. I'm kind of be excited, though, to see how, JDG can try and punish Strive's Splash. It's a LeBlanc. It's always a hard ask, but using these summoner window timings to enhance this early game we talked about in Lyric. I didn't really ask you much about what happens through the laning phase. You talked a lot about team fighting. Both teams want to run at each other, but I need you to give me the lowdown of what kind of happens in the early
you don't.
stage.
No, you don't.
I don't. You're right. 369's going to get ganked. That's what happens. Trying to run him back into the decimating smash. He's out with a little surge. Maybe you do, Lyric. Are you sure?
Yeah. Oh, one thing we already hit on for JDG was mid-jungle, right? And I feel like now that you burnt the flash, even if you won't be able to look for a repeat gank to kill LeBlanc, because of that mobility coming through, she's going to hit level 6 soon. Just the fact that it gives Yagao prio so he can look to move more, because, right, Strive going to have to be more tempered in terms of trying to push out the wave, means at the very least as Kanavi, you can try and keep vision up, red wards around his lane, and start moving him down towards his bottom side, where JDG been able to keep complete pressure. Set the Kaisa behind, take out of the game. We know the Jinx will outscale, and it'll make it much easier for JDG going forward.
At the very least, that 6-point has just been hit by Yagao, so vision control held by RA towards that bottom side as he starts roaming up. 369 going to ult for the wave. Cube has the teleport, but it looks like 369 just wants a nice back timing. He's got a cull as well, so kind of trying to build himself up for his first item nice and early.
And for 369, right, you don't have the plan of fighting anytime soon. Herald's still 2 minutes away. Your team's already taken first dragon. He committed to the cull start because he knew he really wouldn't be able to find any kill pressure on the Sion on the opposing side. So I think, it's fine for him to just blow the Slice of Maelstrom, get a better bit back timing, and then come back, be able to catch his wave, since he was able to ensure the bounce back.
Exec Coldinator picked up as well with tier 1 boost, but look at Leyan on the bottom side. Forget top. When you see a horse running in, Hope and Missing are going to be challenged as the flash immediately burned from the AD. Dredgeline for the re-engage. Hope about to get second skin and blown on up. Missing is the only remnant who takes a bit of exit damage, but RA on the board first in game 2.
Yuyanjia finds the crucial hook, sets up for Leyan to come down, and they find the kill. And now, for the side of RA, they can just keep looking to get their bot lane ahead. Already a pretty sizable CS advantage for iBoy.
That's a 20 CS on your point, right? It'll be about 15, but remember, Hope's not the one picking it up. It's only Missing as the Dredgeline again. Yuyanjia feeling it. And iBoy, he's already got a double longsword. This next back going to be massive. Lyric, I'm curious about the build because Kaisas have gone very different directions these days, and many different at that as well. We do have the potential of lethality. We'll have to see when iBoy finally goes back with all that gold. It's just a noon quiver, and I got excited over nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say that the fact that he had the bow kind of signaled that he was going to go this route. Sure. It might have even been iBoy who did this last time he played the champion, where he did just go the full AD carry build, didn't go for any kind of early serrated Dirk or the Mirror Mana, Nashor's Tooth. Like that's the typical Kaisa build you see, where you're just trying to get all of your upgrades as early as possible.
Yeah.
iBoy indexing more into just itemizing as a standard AD carry. A lot of your damage is going to come off from your straight up auto attacks like normal. So we're gonna be following through to see if he does commit to that, or maybe if these long swords turn into something like a serrated Dirk or so on and so forth. But JDG now, moving over to this Rift Herald, have already committed their bot lane up to the top side, so it's going to give iBoy and Yuyanjia more free time with this bot lane turret and funneling more plates onto iBoy.
It'll be so nice. I mean, iBoy
I guess
already.
First plates.
Yeah. Look, he already picked up gold before here with the assist. The CS advantage going to be massive. As JDG, look, they have Hope up in this top side. But for now, we'll see if it turns into everything else. They've got the knock-up at the ready on top of Cube after picking up the Herald. The Charm connects. The flash as well. The ulti ran into. Zap doesn't slow him down, though. The decimating smash avoided by Yagao, and they'll finally have enough damage. Yagao picks up the kill after the Herald. A bit of a mistake from the top laner of Rare Adam.
Cube still bought so much time, though. We see Strive being able to push in that wave mid, so he's going to maybe lose out on 1 or 2 minions, a bit of XP. It opens up a window for Strive, but Strive not having to hover down towards that bot side because 369 just lost his flash. It looks like iBoy and Yuyanjia did find the engage onto him. And heck, JDG actually might be able to get turret first. As no, Leyan gets here in time.
Yeah, both defensive forces come through. 369 with the teleport the bottom lane, Leyan top side. Hope will have an extra bit of shove to get the next plate, but he's not sticking around with 369, Cube on this side returning to lane. So we get a bit of a plating trade, and after all said and done, it's a 1k gold lead here for R8 in the early game. Lyric, this time around, it's always nice to see when you have a LeBlanc on your team and a Kaisa that you're the team who has a bit of an early charge.
Yeah, for R8, it's going to be extremely useful. Even though we've hit on that they do have a lot of all-in, a lot of ways to threaten Hope throughout the game. Missing might be caught out.
Yeah, dredge line and auto attack. Leyan charging down. There's a good abyssal dive from the Tahm Kench to get out of there. And RA may have just set themselves up for the Dragon where JDG picked up number 1.
Oh, I think RA should be able to guarantee this one. As we're going to see, this is actually how 369 had to blow his flash and his ultimate. Getting caught out by Yuyanjia with the hook. But RA should be able to guarantee this. We already see them making a gank down towards the bottom side right now.
Okay, pings are getting spammed down. Let's see what happens. But the Observer's like, no, wait. Forget bot. Top side's going to be near a sure thing. Cube still without his ultimate. 369 about to get his. The damage is taken. He don't care. With Kanavi trying to race into him. Cube buying time again. This guy, the sacrificial lamb of RA. Finally, he'll drop down. It's Kanavi who picks up the kill. And for JDG wanting to commit with Herald in hand, while RA didn't pull off a play bot side.
No, they're going to be able to get themselves Dragon. And in the 2v2, we've already seen they're naturally winning, so they should just be fine to push Hope and missing back, try and deny them more turret plates, and raise this turret pretty soon. As JDG are coming into the full push top side. No, I'm a little bit surprised you have the Rift Herald still on Kanavi. There they go.
There
now they commit.
TP being burnt by Cube, though, but close call. Kanavi ulting out to make sure it goes down. Very close call from Cube. The timing, some would say, would be precise there. But at the very least, he gets back to wave without faking that TP, or should I say, misusing it. Turret goes down. First turret blood does go to JDG. Gold back to even, but a Dragon apiece now. As this game does look like it's going to the condition you talked about. We are going to get some pretty fun 5v5s with even team comps, it looks like.
Yeah, the 5v5s are definitely going to be the critical thing, and something we actually haven't hit on is the fact that JDG coming in with 2 teleports compared to only 1 on the opposing side. Of course, Cube having Unsealed Spellbook, so it can flip between those summoners, but Strive having the Ignite. So JDG will have more options in terms of playing the map or even just answering whatever RA does. So if RA, maybe Strive gets pushed through mid first with Leyan hovering and then starts to roam down bot, Yagao will always be able to answer with that teleport himself. So ooh, those options are extremely important.
Leyan coming in to help out. This could actually turn into a dive. 369 birth the ulti. Cube flashes though. He was still taking turret aggro. And now with the start of the turret, Leyan ulti's back in. He's lucky the turret didn't hit him again. That was just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, I mean, 369, he finds the kill. That is huge. He still has 1 minion that he needs to farm for his cull, which kind of tilts me looking at.
Oh, yeah.
But JDG making a play on the opposite side. 4 members compared to only 2. Yuyanjia making his way down now. But it looks like iBoy shouldn't be zoned off his turret or have to lose any experience. He still does have that massive CS lead that he's had since very early on.
Yeah, 30 just about. It's insane, right? Speaking a bit about the topside play, I don't know what happened there because that was just Cube decided to ult on in while the turret was still down for him. I'm going to stop talking because JDG are actually going to make another play.
Yeah, I do want to say is it should be fine.
Where does he run? Where does he run? He flashes from it, but still Yuyanjia has to burn his own. Licky Tongue away with the Q, won't be able to reach out for the Bioshock Daddy. That's right, I did say that. And for JDG, still forcing out the 2v2 in lane is Kanavi and Yagao. They're going to try and do more.
Yeah, it looks like they're at least going to be able to push him off from turret, get some more plates. We saw RA actually trying to angle to make a play up towards top side, which is a little bit confusing to me that they're not trying to play more with their bottom lane that was able to get such a huge advantage. But they're not. Leyan, I think, wasting a little bit of time on the map so far.
Nice charm coming through. Melee, Everfrost, and Strive getting burnt down. Corrupting Potions doing work as Leyan tried to save the day, but he doesn't have the ulti. Leyan, this game, Lyric, back-to-back plays, resulting in failure just about.
Yeah, and we saw Leyan waste a ton of time by hovering up towards the top side, kind of thinking, posturing like he wanted to dive 369, but they're not able to do it. heads down towards bot, gives Kanavi so much time to make that play bot, then head mid and look for that gank as Cube.
Oh, nice
use the ultimate, but got knocked back.
Kanavi's ult even better. Damage negated, Yuyanjia's over the wall, but Yagao again with a great charm. His Everfrost usage has been slick, and the 2-0 Ahri again helping out this duo, really relishing in their successes in this second game.
And let's remember that this is a pair now that has so much synergy together, so much time spent playing with each other. They should know each other quite well, especially when so many teams in the league made roster changes to split. The fact that Yagao, Kanavi were able to stick together and I think be one of the best teams at playing around mid and jungle matchups has been such a nice surprise. They're one of the duos that when they pick something aggressive, they look for ganks mid. They try to burn flashes, make the enemy mid laner play safe, open up more opportunities on the map, and they've just been doing it very incredibly well this split. And Yagao's a member we haven't highlighted too much because, I mean, he's not this big flashy performer, right? He doesn't stomp lane, typically doesn't have big team fight moments, but I feel like it feels like JDG is a team. Every member's role is so crucial in how JDG wins the game.
It always has been, despite the roster changes this split. Like, it still follows that same suit that, you know, for JDG, like Hope and Missing have been really great, you know, team fighters. What we talked about the laning phase itself, but Missing has been getting better and better back into that 2019 form where on WE he was a top 3 support, and now they're gonna have to show it with RA setting up the engage but kiting it back because Kanavi's shown up. Estimating smash onto Missing doesn't mean much. iBoy taking a tongue lash. 369 wants a piece of that armor. As he comes on in, the Kennen threatening around. It's in front of Dragon, it's in front of Herald. Objectives up, and JDG aren't giving it up willingly.
And I like that JDG are looking to contest, right? Because they could have easily just pivoted up towards top side and looked for a trade, but they know they're strong right now. They can go for the fight. They have the Slicing Maelstrom up.
Okay, well, it's going to be started off at the very least. 369 not there yet. He's in the river, and Yagao is in a better position. Charm lands. Everfrost again. Dragon's given up, but Strive is going to get Spirit Rush on into the back of the pit. Yagao a bit too deep. iBoy not tagging out as Kanavi's ultimate. Maximum value, 369s, even more stonks going up, Missing with a 3-man. Everyone in JDG holds a crucial role. 369 flies to the background, and we know once again, like game 1, it all comes down to the Dragon fight.
And everyone played their part, like you just said. Yagao hitting the charm, finding the opening damage on the Strive, forcing him out from his flanking position. Missing huge knockup. Really great ult coming from Kanavi. Team effort coming through. And now look at what's going on the map. Denying minions in mid, getting a bunch of damage down on this turret. They have control of top side. Just pushing out all the waves. As we're going to go into the replay, Yagao waiting in the wings, finds the charm, finds the Everfrost, forces Strive out. Dragon might go over Leyan, but now Kanavi's just able to get right in the thick of things. Throws out the ultimate. Good damage from him. Slicing Maelstrom's there. And then bam! Missing with a 3-man knockup to guarantee more damage. And here it looked like maybe RA can get away, but look at 369. Commits his flash to be able to get on the further members. Make sure they go down as well, so JDG can walk away with the teamfight victory.
It's been 2 years of Missing being subpar, of Missing being a questionable support. I really feel like he's returned this split. I really feel like we are, again, getting the best quality out of this ex-WE support who played with Mystic, who in 2019 was up there with Ming, Mako. I think at points even better. Missing is playing great League of Legends again, and I have waited so long. That knockup, beautiful. He delivered 369, and Lyric just coming back to the crux of it all. It's the third Dragon, once again, where RA have lost everything.
Yeah, just nice by JDG again to make the conscious choice to... They were starting to pivot up towards that top side. They see RA run down, and they know that they can take the fight. They find it. You know, maybe had Strive been able to find the flank, and Yagao isn't watching out. Like, there's so many what-ifs of how RA could have come out ahead, but JDG were prepared.
Yep.
And even going back to your Missing point, something Teacherma said before the split that, you know, Missing and Elk were really good friends, but they had very different ideas of how they wanted to play the game.
Sure.
And both of them looking, you know, very strong coming into the split with new teams.
As we're going to fight again, apparently, for JDG, trying to deny RA's chances of locking in playoffs. This would be such a burden if they lost this series, as JDG looking like a top 4, top 5 team at the moment. Dredgeline going a bit shallow, Missing, ready for that knock-up once again. You can see that Strive pokes his head in on the LeBlanc, but Still not enough confidence here from RA. They're going to give up this Herald, it seems. Leyan can only threaten. That's about the core of what he can do.
And in draft week, we hit on how JDG might struggle with the amount of like backline dive that RA's composition has. But the fact that JDG were able to get ahead early, the thing I'm concerned about for RA's comp is, you know, if they have the damage to win an extended fight. They definitely have the burst.
Yeah.
iBoy and Strive, if they're able to get on top of Hope or Yagao, they will just be deleted. But in any extended skirmish where Hope gets devoured or is able to flash away or use the heal, 100% having more DPS on their side.
369 forward again. Herald's done so much work. RA, this is their base defense. Teleport being used by Cube, who was on a side lane. Herald almost seeks down the full HP at the top, but look, Yuyanjia just blown up. He gets
It's the charm again!
Again, Yagao isn't missing 5, 0, and 2 for a reason to charm. Okay, bit of a caster curse, but a knock up on top of Cube. Another option has presented itself. A new challenger approaches. Kanavi is just annoyed that RA has the audacity to think they're on even playing ground.
And this JD Gaming roster, they're on the same page. They force through mid. They make Cube burn his TP, and they still find a pick in the end. 45 seconds until Dragon, so I expect resets to be coming out for the side of JDG. They're kind of greeting to deny some of these camps. Go for the resets, boys. Get back on the map. Get in a strong position. Take that Dragon. And then, heck, if RA opt to fight you, that could just lead to a game-winning team fight for their side.
I mean, it feels like it with the open inhibitor as well, with gold at about 6,000. JDG scattering the resets for now. It's 369 taking his time, but RA is still grouped up in front of Baron. And
I thought they'd do it. I thought they'd do it.
Yeah.
The pings were there, but seems like that they aren't going to go for the flip. With how much they're falling behind, right? I mean, a flip for RA at this point could be pretty good, as they will at least be able to get on the objective. They have some wards down, but as long as JDG are conscious of Strive looking for this flank, I feel like JDG are in a very strong position.
I mean, Yagao just hit the charm again. There's the Everfrost. They get an objective bounty, but the Dragon, will it be worth it? Leyan jumping in, but JDG have taken no damage. That LeBlanc is meaningless as 369 flashes on in to stick another fork in the socket. iBoy is running for his life, but his life is also going down the drain. A triple over to 369. Strive versus Kanavi is the only piece of entertainment that RA can get. He cheeks it out. He finds him, but RA still lose too much to handle.
Yeah, and we saw there, Strive even found access onto Hope. I believe he landed his full combo as well. Distortion, the chain, the Q all hit, electrocute proc. And it really didn't do all too much to the enemy AD carry. JDG loses jungle, but they're going to be able to get a bot lane tier 2 turret.
And the gold continues to rocket on up. 8,000 back 2. And Dragon Soul is now coming up for RA in 4 minutes. But it'll be the biggest question whether they can live that long and whether JDG let them get it. Let's have a look again, Lyric, because second time this fight's gone downhill.
Yeah, and we see here, right, Strive gets onto Hope, but again, not too much damage come through. He did have to use his heal, but Kanavi keeps charging forward. Gets Leyan so low, the slicing maelstrom from 369, allowing him to finish it off. iBoy not able to jump in. And the Kennen pick just coming in clutch. I think a lot of people think of, Kennen in terms of like flanks, being able to get on the back line, but Kennen also a very good champion against heavy dive, because you do not want to dive into that ultimate. So much damage, you're going to get locked down, set up for your carries to come out ahead. And 369 doing his job perfectly. 6-1 and 4 in the Kennen, 5-0-5 Ahri in the mid lane.
Bit of a caster curse, okay.
Again.
Okay.
Stop praising them.
Strive actually starting to do some work, which is nice here. RA trying to delay out the game, get some more items, and build it towards a time where they can threaten for this Ocean Soul. So, Lyric, each time that happens for JDG, we've got a question. See if RA are still in this game.
I mean, they're picking up gold on the bottom side with Cube committing to the split push.
That's right.
Would be fun if he, went for one of those solo Q Sion builds where you build full AD and just commit to killing yourself to turrets. As we see the replay of how Strive was able to set that up, but I guess screw the replay because JDG want to keep going, but Cube's coming in for the TP.
And this flank could be everything. RA going to stay in the series. For playoffs, they need it, but the TP in the back line. 369's coming in red hot as iBoy spotted out. A charm from Yagao once again. The Spirit Rush over to Strive, and he takes it. The Death Rocket almost kills him. Strive is one tick away, and Cube is not willing to stay. As Missing gets yet another knock-up, it's Cube running for his life, but JDG are on him like my dinner was on rice. We've got immediate inhibitor going down, and Lyric, this could just be it.
Yeah, 2 inhibitors down. They already have supers on their way coming from mid. They can wait this one out. Look to push to end the game. 30 seconds on cue.
Look at the range here from Hope, but he's running out of mana. He's about to go into minigun form. But as he steps on up, Yuyanjia gets the hook. Remember, Missing has his ulti and used it, and Yuyanjia's baked it in. The knock-up late in the ultimate from 369 used. Leyan on his defense path. iBoy getting a kill against Missing is good, but RA need a little more. Health bars blinking. JDG playing cautiously. The series won't end yet.
No, JG gonna back off, and now RA, they get to keep going. Strive and Leyan can follow through, very mobile, very fast, but instead looks like they're gonna head down to the bot side, maybe pick up blue buff, start getting your camps, and RA now live to at least hopefully be able to try to secure that Ocean Soul. I don't really think it would change the dynamic of the game with the lead that JDG have been able to find, but right, any advantage you find, especially one as big as Soul, will definitely help out as Strive. Is he going to cheekily wait for picks? He is. He's going to look for picks.
Okay, the red buff is going to be attended to, though.
This is how you find your way back into a game when you are this far behind, right? You do cheeky things. You be sneaky. You look for these sorts of plays.
Oh, but Missing just arrived, and that is the anti-LeBlanc button. Strive spotted out, and Kanavi now realizes too. The exhaust down. Hope looking for him, and they are going to Kentucky Derby this one all the way to the left side of the map. Start your engines, boys. Yagao is tailing him, and Strive just wants to execute the Death Rocket used. Everybody wants a piece of the man. Cheeky distortion backwards. Execute would be such a Chad, but no. Unfortunate at the end.
Yagao was done with the BS. He's going to commit the flash and stop chasing around. It even leads to perfect timing for JDG. Now they can just make their way towards spot, pick up this dragon. And now I feel like JDG have choices. If they want a more like secured chance of victory, right, you can head up towards top side, try and force the Baron. If they come, you take the fight, you win. Or I wonder if they'll even just try to push through mid now and, you know, maybe look to secure an inhibitor. Doesn't look like it with backs already starting to come off. I would expect maybe the Baron bait and the Baron dance to be where JDG's looking next.
And Lyric, I have to apologize to people, to yourself. I said before, you know, JDG were on RA like my dinner on rice, but my dinner was rice. I made a what do you call it? Oh my God, what do you call it? A rice dish. Arancini made out of what? Made out of what? Risotto. I made risotto. Apologies. So I feel like I've done a disservice. Saffron mushroom.
I feel like while trying to apologize for the disservice you did by lying, you have now just dug yourself further into the hole.
Dude, I forgot risotto's hard to remember, but I did mushroom, I did saffron. So we have a nice, saffron makes risotto yellow, if anyone wonders, but it was a banger. I did get 10 out of 10 with my partner, so we got full ratings there. And as I bring you back into the game, the reason I'm all over the place today is because I've been watching JDG smooth criminal their way through Strive. Hello. Strive, okay, doesn't regret it. Wow, Death Rocket, okay, Strive may now regret it, but they got 369, they got his ulti. iBoy's here by himself, slowed down. Yagao won't get the charm, but the Everfrost at the absolute tip on top of the AD carry. Yuyanjia trying to defend is Missing, gets all in, but Cube's ulti, great. Saving Yagao was private Missing as another knock up on top of Cube. Leyan's here. It's getting real messy as iBoy wants to clean house. RA on their last legs as Kanavi tries and succeeds. Knock up City. It's an adult bouncing castle. Cube and Yuyanjia running for their lives, but I feel like their lives are now forfeit. It's only a matter of time, but at least time is relative when you're watching RA versus JT.
Yeah, I mean, JDG, right, that whole push was, you know, 4 members strong, 369 not being there and being one of their strongest members in terms of team fighting, in terms of being able to run RA down, at least able to open that inhibitor back up. But I just gotta say, like, the energy that 369 had here to flash over the wall is the kind of energy I wish I could live my life with.
Hell yeah.
almost finds it. Strive does not go down in the end. Hope is able to secure, but then we see here, JDG see an opportunity. They know that they have minions flooding in through top side. They spot out where Leyan is, so they think that they can just collapse on these 3 members of RA. Yuyanjia doesn't go down in cube, just buying so much space with the ulti, forces a Devour out from missing. It just takes so long for them to bring him down. Hope locked up by the knockup from cube. And then Leyan just kind of playing on the back end of the fight, zoning Hope away. Yagao trying to stand by him and, you know, be his buddy, maybe peel a little bit, but Leyan backs off, runs back in with the E, gets the kill, and RA, the story of the game so far for them is they've just been able to find ways to buy time.
Yep. And, you know, get towards 3rd items. Like, we do have a 3-item Kaisa here from iBoy, excuse me. Strive is towards his 3rd. We've got 3 on Leyan, almost 3 here onto cube. RA are slowly but surely making themselves thicker in this game. Damage meaning less and less as Yagao with the charm once again. Follows it through with a Spirit Rush, but RA are baiting out these ultis and now actually stepping out of their base.
And I mean, you know, you said, look at RA's top jungle items. They are extremely beefy, very strong right now. The Force of Nature is going to do so much against the double AP coming out from JDG's composition.
Yep.
We saw Yagao, I believe his Q did hit cube there, didn't really do any damage. So
even with 20 stacks of Majais.
Yeah, just absolutely massive. And if JDG win, I hope we see Yagao get MVP for this game because, again, some of the picks he's been able to find have just been so on point for the side of JDG. As JDG aren't going to try and, like, play by the book, Strive?
Yeah, still doing damage here to missing. Zap not connecting, but the audacious charge with Wind becomes lightning. They got the knock-up and the explosion. One misstep as RA getting a bit too confident, and iBoy now getting charged in the back line. 369 disengaged from, as Cube is still a massive fridge, but at this point, they've opened the door and they've raided it. Cube's about to drop down, and it looks like it wasn't a 2-part package. RA are left with 3, and this time, Lyric, I think JDG are going to be able to do it as a charm. Flash forward, Yagao feeling it. Max stacks of Majais. RA will not qualify for playoffs today, but JDG will look like a top team in the LPL with the win.
And like I said, man, I hope to see Yagao get the recognition because for every charm he missed, it feels like he hit, 3 impactful ones for it. So, great performance coming out on the Ahri. He was doing so much in those fights to zone off the flanks, to set up then for the rest of the members to look for the engage. But, I mean, this one was pretty straightforward coming out from JDG. Once again, once the team fights started happening, they just ran home with it. And heck, that's where it looked like potentially RA would be strong. But the fact that Strive got chunked out in that initial fight and opened up for Kanavi to then jump in, find the kill, you have the 5v4, and you're just able to clean house from there.
That, again, another jungle damage game.
My God, that's great. Like I said, if you look at jungle damage stats, typically junglers sit anywhere between like 10 and maybe like 17, 18% on the high end.
Yeah.
No. So Kanavi coming in strong. And I mean, this is a hard one. This is where people, they're going to listen to us and reasonably like, man, you guys just can't call everyone on JDG good, that they all played well. But it feels like they are. It feels like JDG, again, as a unit, is how they're winning, is how they're conquering enemies. It's not a one-man show, or maybe people having bigger pop-up moments than others, thinking of like the rookies, the riches, the Shies early in the split. I mean, obviously, Cube on this team in their last series. No, JDG really bringing it together as a 5-man unit.
And we got a bit of a story here, didn't we? Like, 369 versus Cube didn't happen in a very traditional, like, carry matchup way. We got comforts throughout each game, and 369 bodied on very different champions. So, really nice to see what 369 is doing for JDG once again, and kind of what this JDG has become, because it's a rendition